With the announcement of Final Fantasy XIV's newest expansion, Evercold, I imagine there's some of you that are interested in starting Final Fantasy XIV, but you may also think it's too daunting a task. The game has been out for years and there's too much to do, so I'll do my best to break it down for you so that you have the easiest time possible getting into the game. To the future Warrior of Lights, I welcome you. Let me clear a misconception about the game. While it is labeled an MMO, it's first and foremost an RPG. Yes, you're going to be doing dungeons and bosses with other players, but the majority of the game is going to be done alone. It wants you to build your own experiences with the characters and the setting, and every way to play is valid. Contrary to the vast majority of the community's belief that you cannot skip cutscenes, you really should if it's just not jiving with you. I'd rather someone be a boosted Billy and skip all cutscenes than just not play the game, even if I think it's not the best way to enjoy 14. Because boosting requires you to know other players that can mentor you and teach you all the different systems that exist. It's incredibly easy to be overloaded with everything 14 offers, and that's why the recommended way to play is just to go through the story normally. But doing the story alone might not even give you the information that you want or need. So this is what I recommend if you're a veteran of the genre or a completely new player. The simplest way to play is on a free trial and just progressing all the way up to Shadowbringers, where you can decide if you want to keep playing the game or not. And if you don't even get to that point, well, you didn't spend a single dollar on the game anyway. The trial will help you get your bearings, while also not pressuring you to play every day because of a subscription. With the most recent announcement, the free trial covers 4 out of the 6 expansions, and you can easily spend up to 100 hours per expansion, meaning you get at least 400 hours of free content, and potentially even more because there's no time limit. Yes, there are some annoying restrictions, but can you really complain when you're getting up to 4 expansions completely for free? Let's say you're bummed out that you can't currently pick a race that's locked by an expansion. Thankfully, Square Enix decided to give you a free Fantasia if you complete a Realm Reborn that lets you change your race, gender, and whatever else you want about your character, whenever you want. But when you do eventually buy the game, you can change into the race that you actually want to be. I also highly recommend avoiding trust for the most part. Trust are NPCs that you can bring to a dungeon without waiting for any queue times, unless you're adamant about playing alone. If you do want to play with other players eventually, it's honestly better to start earlier rather than later, while you get the most overpowered status in any MMO ever. It's called being a sprout. As soon as they see that green little leaf icon above your head, they will swarm to you to help as much as they possibly can. The reason why sprouts are so revered is because veterans want you to play this game as much as possible, and it's one of the most positive things about this community. As long as you're a kind, half-decent person, they will want to help you. It just requires being less of an introvert and getting out of your comfort zone. That's just not something you could take advantage of with NPCs, and you're actively griefing yourself otherwise. But again, it's a different story if you play alone and only care about the story. This phenomenon is also highly dependent on what server you pick. North America has 4 major data centers. Aether is considered the raiding capital, which caused a max exodus from other servers and data centers, leading it to be locked, though Primal is probably the second most populated data center, followed by Crystal, the RP data center, and Dynamis, which is considered the new player hub. However, Dynamis has a big problem. It's relatively dead outside of getting the bonus from starting there, which is a permanent rested XP bonus that gives you 100% additional experience per kill, not affecting quests. Now, you can swap to other data centers after you create your character, and that Dynamis buff will still apply even if you visit Primal. But what you trade for faster levels, you may trade in for community, so the choice is really yours. So I highly recommend Primal if you want a similar experience than what I had. Now, you may ask if data centers and servers actually matter. Currently in Dawntrail, you can only play in your data center. However, this restriction is going to be disappearing with Evercold, though we have no idea when that will come. Free companies, aka guilds, are also server exclusive, so it still matters where you choose. Now you have an idea of where you want to make your character. Unlike other MMOs, picking your class at the start of the game really doesn't matter. The reason for that is because you can play every class in the game on one character. There is no reason for alts in this game, outside of a few niche uses. I'll give you guys a brief overview of all the starting jobs. Gladiator and Marauder are tanks. Lancer and Pugilist are melee DPS. Archer is a physical range. Thaumaturge is a magical DPS. Conjurer is your standard healer. And Arcanist is very unique with what it does. While it is a standard magical DPS, every job I mentioned can evolve to something further. Arcanist is the only unique job in the game that levels up 2 at the same time, as when you hit level 30, you unlock both Summoner and Scholar, one being a magical DPS and one being a healer. So if you like flexibility, starting as an Arcanist is actually beneficial. But again, you can pick up these jobs whenever you want, so long as you meet the minimum required level. As for what I would recommend to start with, if you enjoy tanks, Marauder is your go-to. It's the easiest tank in the game and also the most fun to play. As you learn more about the game, it practically becomes unkillable. If you're a melee player, I would actually recommend starting Pugilist, while Lancer archer or dragoon seems cool, its starting experience is exceptionally rough to get through, especially if you're used to faster GCDs, which pugilist or monk has naturally. If you're a ranged DPS player, you're unfortunately stuck with just archer that eventually turns into bard. Now I say unfortunately not because it's bad, but it's because it's the only option given to you. Magical DPS have the more interesting options, as arcanist eventually evolves into summoner and becomes the easiest magical DPS to play in the game, while thaumaturge is a little bit more complex, though that complexity really doesn't shine until endgame, though this will all change during Evercold. For healers, while you'd have to push arcanist to level 30 to get scholar, I would honestly recommend leveling up conjurer. It is the purest of pure healer and feels so fun to play, though also I am biased as it's one of my favorite jobs. Once you pick your job, there's a very easy priority in deciding what you need to do next. By default, at the top left of your screen will be your MSQ, or main scenario quests, while at the bottom will be your job quests. Job quests tend to appear every 5 levels, and are relevant up until Stormblood. More than anything, I say these are mandatory to do as soon as possible. The reason for that is because they tend to give you extra abilities, or upgrades, and not doing them will make you miss out on these key features and abilities. They also have completely different storylines to the MSQ. The MSQ is going to be your primary source of experience, and will be the easiest way to level up your main job, which is a personal gripe that I actually have. But the only way to level outside of MSQ is to be doing roulettes, which are primarily dungeons or raids that don't really offer much challenge. This could be a huge negative if you're just like me and don't like dungeon grinding, because outside of dailies, the only effective experience is to do the max level dungeon currently available for your job, which feels incredibly repetitive. So if you don't want to burn yourself out, I highly recommend you do dailies when you have them available. The ones I would focus on for the maximum amount of experience would be leveling roulette, main scenario roulette, alliance raids, and frontline. Frontline being the PvP of this game, which is 24 versus 24 versus 24. And if that sounds hectic, well, it certainly is. You even get more experience depending on where you place as a team, and it comes with its own set of cosmetics and rewards. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself talking about PvP, because it's not immediately accessible. If there's only one thing I can impart in you, it's that you should be doing your blue quests. Stop ignoring them. It ranges from unlocking crafters, gatherers, other jobs that you could be playing, as well as hidden content like dungeons, criterion, deep dungeons, PvP, harder versions of fights, and so much more. The best way to do them is just like your job quests and doing them as you go. If you see one, it doesn't hurt to pick it up. So I beg you, do your blue quests. I mentioned about being a sprout earlier, and I highly encourage talking to people that show interest in you, because you never know what type of help they're going to give you, or knowledge they're going to impart in you. Your fellow players are trying to strive to make the community as best as it possibly can be, though I will say Limsa is certainly questionable. Final Fantasy XIV is a treasure trove of amazing people, a beautiful community, and exceptionally talented players. There are shitheads for sure, like any other online community, but I never met a more respectful community, so long as you're not terminally online about it. The deeper the rabbit hole you go, the more shit you will find. After the couple years I've played this game, I've completely changed, and I owe everything I have to this game, and the random people that took a shot at me. The stories I have, the love and passion that I want to share with you all, is not something abnormal. This is the same sentiment a lot of players feel. So push yourself to try it, as well as being the best you could possibly be. And while there is a lot of information that I still haven't touched on yet, please like the video and comment if you want to see me go more in depth in Final Fantasy XIV. Thank you so much for watching. And as a reminder, if you'd like to support me, make sure you check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Moemirat. Shout out to all my patrons: Marble Moonstone, Famine, Yeetsy, Colton, Chain, Void, Burger, Dawntrail, Cal the Newt, Lil Zazel, Dell, Salaman, Justavirus, Broken Armor, Koki, Jonathan, Wah Wah Wah, Karma, Mehmet98, Yes Man, Propanus, Momanius, Yeet the Meat, Katre Dora, and Devil Killer. Thank you guys for your constant support. I hope to see you guys next time. I also stream at Twitch at twitch.tv/Moemirat almost every day at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.